Hello everyone, it's Shabara here. Throughout the world, we learn and know of countless types of literature, from poetry to puns, fairy tales to novels, and every subcategory in between. For example, the haiku is a form of poetry that derives from Japan, and we learn and know in American school systems that it has very distinct characteristics that define it as a haiku. However, Africa in the context of literature or poetry is very seldom discussed. Today, we will be starting a series of videos covering African literature, proverbs, stories, puzzles, and riddles. Before we begin, I just want to thank Fishing Clash for sponsoring this video. Fishing Clash is a free-to-play fishing game available on iOS and Android devices. There are hundreds of different species of fish with varying levels of rarity that will always keep you guessing what you will reel in next. As you progress more into the game, you can collect fishing rods, lures, and other equipment, allowing you to catch even bigger fish in over 12 locations around the world, including Florida, the Amazon River, Guntersville Lake, and several others. You can even face off against other players around the world to prove who is the best fisherman. This includes duels, challenges, tournaments, and championships. I'm a gamer myself, but not so much a mobile gamer. However, I did find myself getting a little hooked as I continuously kept discovering new fish and getting better combos as I got more used to the game's mechanics. It had actually brought back memories of fishing in the old school Zelda games, which despite not being the main game was still tons of fun. If you're not like me and you're an actual mobile gamer, then you're definitely in for a treat. There are new events every week and new adventures to discover. You can start your fishing adventures off right by using my exclusive gift code. Applying my gift code will automatically send you a special gift box valued at $15. Simply enter this code on the screen to redeem your gift. Act fast though, because my code will only be valid until Saturday, August 7th. The link to download as well as my gift code will be available in the description below. So as mentioned earlier, African literature is a very underrepresented or discussed topic. Much of the reason rests in the fact that the majority of African peoples lacked any form of writing system until the colonial era, while most of the ones that did have it were Islamic states, using Arabic writing systems and writing literature derived from the traditions of the Islamic world. However, despite the majority of Africans lacking writing systems, literature, poetry, and philosophy still retained an important role in African societies, and instead of being written down, it was passed on orally. Today we'll be reading and analyzing but a few African proverbs deriving from the MANDINKA people of West Africa, as well as some deriving from various peoples of the Senegambian region. These proverbs are typically ambiguous and give metaphors, similes, or analogies, with some having very clear meanings, while others leave it up to the reader to decide its meaning. Just to make this a bit more interesting, I'll read off the ones that give the meanings and the ones that don't, but I'll give my opinion on what they mean, and I'm curious to hear yours as well down in the comment section. However long a stick is in the air, it cannot bring forth leaves there. I think this one just means that just because you can reach something doesn't necessarily mean that you can command it. However long a log is in the river, it will not become a crocodile. As a Florida boy, I can honestly say I can relate, because there are several times when I was younger where I'd see logs floating in the river and I thought they were alligators, but they were just logs. So I think this one is basically saying that just because something looks like something doesn't mean it's that something. Let not beans kill millet, and let not millet kill beans. Both can be planted on the same farm. A knife cannot shave its own head. This one seems to imply that having the proper ability to do something doesn't mean that you can do it on your own. Like scratching your own back, for example. A red monkey is among the baboons. A person out of place. Shall a person ask God, "Are you at peace?" This one seems to imply that people turn to God when they are in trouble and tend to be more independent when they are at peace. DUKUTI brings forth DAKATI. If you're expected to receive something, you must give something first. The wolf passed, the calf cried. If you enter a place and something was missing from there, people will suspect you. If the squirrel knows of the crocodile's headache, who told him? The iguana, which goes on both land and water. The friendship of groundnuts and squirrels. The squirrel says, "Let us go to the groundnuts." The groundnuts do not say, "Let's go to the squirrel." And here are a few others collected from the Senegamian region of West Africa. The swallow does not come down to the ground for nothing. I think this one is just simply stating that every action has a purpose or a reason. A sweet tree, even if climbing is difficult, lets something fall. Pretty sure this means that just because something is challenging doesn't mean you won't get rewarded in the end. An old palm wine calabash does not lose its smell. No matter how much water you put there, it will still stink. I feel like this one pretty much just states that old people or things are stuck in their ways, and no matter how much you try to change them, they won't change. A long chat brings out one thing hidden under the bed. I can definitely relate to this one because I'm a firm believer of it. I think it's saying that discussing things deeply and long will get all of the things out in the open, and unfortunately it seems like we live in a culture where that just kind of gets avoided or dismissed as drama, when in reality it's really necessary to just tackle problems head on and discuss them sometimes. You've tied up the horse, but you've not given it any millet. This one seems to emphasize the importance of paying people or things after their services are concluded. TAMBINGO, a thrown stick, does not knock it down. You must break it with your own hand. It's also a bit tough, but I'm thinking maybe it states that there's not always a special tool for a job. Sometimes you gotta just do it yourself. Abrupt talk, or talk cut short, hastens fighting. I'd say this basically means that you shouldn't interrupt people who are expressing their feelings or opinions on something because it'll anger them and lead to an argument. A person does not tell a crocodile how to dive. Plain and simple, don't tell people what to do if they obviously know what they're doing, especially if they're doing a better job at it than you. Don't leave the fish in your hand for the fish under your foot. My best guess is that you shouldn't leave behind someone or something that you already have for someone or something that probably isn't even as good. Oh, and while we're talking about fish again, don't forget to check out the Fishing Clash mobile game. If you sign up using my gift code, you will receive a free special gift box valued at $15 to start off your fishing adventure even better. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and let me know what your opinions are on these proverbs. I number them to make it easier for you to quote them in the comment section. I'm very curious to hear your interpretations to these proverbs or your responses to mine. Also, if you like this new background, you might enjoy The Griffin Knight, an African fantasy book written by the artist who designed it. The link will be found below. For sources, check out my website, linked below. If you'd like to support future projects, you can do so there as well, or by clicking the join button below, or by becoming a patron. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as usual, and always remember, we don't come from nothing.